Light it up, PRF1. G-forces been reality. We chase the flag, chase destiny. From sunrise tracks to midnight fights, we own the straights, we live the night. Pit lane fire and carbon scars. We're dreaming big and driving stars. And Gavin's got the fans on fire. That's a move you can't retire. Light it up, PRF1. Feel the fury, feel the sun. Speed and soul, tight and clean. This is more than a machine. Crank the volume, feel the flame. We write history with every name. Oh, this is where legends run. Light it up, PRF1. Let it higher. Stokes the fire. They're born tonight in the flash of wheels and fearless flight. Light it up, PRF1. No retreat. We chase the sun. Lot of hearts in fearless drive. Every pass we come on alive. Crank it louder, light the flame. With every turn we change the game. Oh, this is where legends run. Light it up, PRF1.
Keep her fully lit, you hear me? Let's make this an epic season.
Well, hello, good evening, and welcome. Well, hello, good evening, and welcome. Yes, just checking everything out and turning off a few things here. Yes, I'm good. Welcome to PRF1 on a Tuesday evening, and I'm Gavin Bass 1, exhausted from hanging out on hospital queues this evening all day, but I got back and we're here. And this is round 8 on a Tuesday night for the Lauda division, and it's a very special one tonight and a massive test for our drivers. This is Silverstone, and it's a 2-race evening tonight, both 35% races. The big one tonight is it's a one-shot quali for each race, which means that if a driver makes a mistake and goes outside of track limits, he goes automatically to the back of the grid. So that's a big challenge in itself. But the second challenge is also that the second race is in reverse. So they're going to be going round Maggots and Beckets the wrong way round. So I'm going to have to get my head round how to pronounce Maggots and Beckets in reverse. Haven't even checked that out, but it's I'm sure it sounds awful. But I'm glad to be here, and it's lovely to see everybody in the lobby this evening. We've got about 16 or 17 drivers here this evening. Big battle in this league with Dystopian and Godwin and Trappy. Trappy's leading the league at the moment, but it's all very close and it's all very gainable, and everybody in here this evening can gain really good points. But this one-shot quali is going to be a difficult task because you need to, one, get a very fast lap in, and two, you need to keep it within track limits with only one opportunity to do so. And as I said, you go outside of track limits, you go to the back of the grid. Hi DK, hope you're doing okay with your wrist. Cramp is a nightmare. Wanker's cramp. You're funny. No, they didn't give me anything apart from painkillers and anti-inflammatories and all of this, but they are coming close to making the decision on what they're going to do with it. It sounds like a pretty technical operation they're going to have to do on my wrist to make it better. But right now, at this moment in time, it's just about able to lift a cup of coffee. And it gets very, very painful in the evening because since I broke it, I've got severe arthritis now in that wrist. So I'm not able to ride my bike and I'm not able to play my saxophone. So two of the things that I really love, I can still go fishing, but it's very difficult to cast with the fishing rod. But anyway, that's enough about Gavin Bass 1. We're here to talk about PRF1, and we are in Silverstone this evening. Can they add a little spice to this already spice-ridden night with a little rain? We will see. Lovely to see people watching the stream this evening, and anybody who is, they're most welcome. And as always, I would always encourage you to keep me company. And if you have anything to shout out or announce, just go for it. Let me know via Twitch. I don't use Discord during the race because it's just too much of a distraction. So if you have anything you want me to shout out, anybody celebrating anything, just fire it up there and I will be more than happy to shout it out for you. One-shot qualies are very, very difficult to cover. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to randomize somebody for each one-shot quali. And tonight, the random person for the quali for Q1 is Slippery Salmon tonight. And I'm going to ride on board with Slippery to see how he does in this first qualification. Oh, Slippery Salmon has just left the session. Now, that's not good. So that means I might not be commenting on him. Let's see if he can get a rejoin. Let's see if I can do it for him even. I'm not too sure I have him on here, but I will try. BRST, not in there. No, Slippery, you're not showing online, sir. So maybe you're just rebooting your computer. So I'll pick another random name out of the air this evening, and I'll go for Master Spread. So, Master Spread, I will be riding on board with you, sir, on the opening one-shot quali for race 1. Race 1, I believe, is in the correct direction, and that is anti-clockwise, or clockwise, sorry, and the second race will then be anti-clockwise. It's a tricky one for me tonight as well, because to do commentary, Slippery Salmon has rejoined, that's good. So, I'll jump back on board with him if he does definitely spawn in. To do commentary on a circuit that you've never raced on reverse before. I think I might have actually done it once in practice, but I didn't take it particularly seriously. So for that reason, I'll be completely and utterly winging it tonight. But this is round 8. Good points up for grabs. Slippery Salmon has left the session again. The lads have pressed the start button, so we are just about to start quali 1 here. Everybody will have their setups in and their tyre pressures set. Minimum amount of fuel for 1 lap, and they will be doing their very best to keep it within track limits. And we'll just ride on board with Master Spread this evening and see how his hot lap goes and where he ends up in the grid for the start of race 1 this evening. Can't find Master. Oh, there he is. So off he goes round the first flat out right-hander. Sorry, he's going down the back straight now into Maggots and Beckett's. I'm having a bit of lag here. So he's driving the Williams this evening, and we're on board with Master Spread putting in his one-shot quali lap for race 1. As I said, it's very, very hard to cover everybody's quali lap when it's a one-lap quali. So Master Spread's used up all of his battery going into the start-finish grid, and he's just about to set a lap now. And it's a 1:27.364, and I think I saw Trappy in P1 there. It didn't give me an awful lot of time to gather up that information. But there we go. And we've got Axel in P1, Godwin in P2, Trappy in P3, Jorse in 4, DK5, Gareth Minimad in 6th, Master Spread in 7th, Linsky in 8th, Hosty in 9th, Speed Freak in 10th, Jeff Aboom in 11th. The boss, Clem, is in the Williams in 12th, and Mike Legend is in 13. 14 is Misfits, and 15 is Fused Demon. Slippery Salmon in 16th. Fused Demon must have got bolts long enough for his new steering wheel. And 17, PRF1 Viper. And there was one more driver who had just slightly missed there at the end, and apologies for that. And there we go. There is the spice on top of the already spiced up race. And we have got a wet race 1. And that is going to throw an absolute Slippery Salmon right into the mix this evening. I personally hate driving in the rain. If it didn't piss the leagues off so badly, I would just literally dive into the pits and retire when I see rain. I just hate it that much. I feel it's a waste of a night. But realistically, you've got to do it. And I normally just sort of do my best is the only thing I can say. I never practice in the rain, which is stupid of me. But anyway, it is what it is. And we have everybody in the pits now, and they are preparing for this. I think it's about 18 laps. A 35% race is in around about 13 laps. And 18 laps. So it's going to be involving a tire change. I know you're right, Gaza. 18 laps, and why rain? I don't know. Horrible. Absolutely horrible. Can't agree with you more, Gareth. Honest to goodness, I hate the rain. It just spoils my night every time the screen uploads and I see the pissing rain outside the pits. and you're running 10 wings at the rear and you can't change them. Oh, God. You're going to be a wee bit happy. You definitely are, buddy. But everybody's in the same position. They will have put their fast setups in there for their quali. Parc Fermé's off. Yep, absolutely right. All you can do is your best, sir. All you can do is your best. Yeah, I was saying whenever you get the load in screen and you're sitting there in your car and you've practiced all day and you're ready for a super night, and then you look out and there it is. You see the green in their tires, or you see the blue wet tires, and you just go, fuck it. You just go boke, turbo boke. Anyway, this is PRF1. This is a Tuesday night division. It's the Lauda League. It's round 8. It's Silverstone. It's chucked up some lovely weather and race win. Hopefully, it will reward everybody for a dry race round the wrong way in Silverstone, which personally, another hate of mine. I just don't think we should be doing it. But look, the bosses are the bosses, and it's a challenge, I must admit. But as a driver myself, I just don't see any point in going around a circuit that has been designed to race in a certain direction. It just goes against the reality of what you're trying to actually do, is my opinion. But it's only my opinion. I'm here to commentate, and I'm going to do my very best to do that. I'm going to try and pick up a wee bit of everybody tonight and try and focus in on the close races as much as I can. Just remember, this old boy's tired. He's been in a hospital queue all day, trying to get this wrist sorted out once and for all. It's getting closer to the old surgery time. But even closer is the start of this race. And I'm wondering, have they formation laps this evening for these two races? I'm sure they do. Again, I like the formation lap. It gives everybody their own chance and their own technique of warming up the tyres and getting loosened up, and especially getting the brakes and getting the heat of the brakes in round the tyres as well. That makes an awful lot of difference whenever you can get things up to speed properly before your race. So just jumping you into a race from the start grid, not a big fan of that either. So formation lap is definitely my preference. I think it is PRF1's preference as well, and I think it is the right preference. And let's see what Silverstone throws up this evening. I still haven't quite worked out what maggots and Beckett's spelled backwards is. Let's try maggots. It must be Stagums. And we're going round Stagum. And what is Beckett's? It's Stackum. Stackab. Anyway, yes, we do have a formation lap. I'm off on a silly old night tonight because I'm just happy to be here. Driving in the Haas this evening is Axel in position 1 tonight. In P2 on board in the Ferrari is AMS Godwin. In the cockpit of the Aston Martin this evening we have AMS Trappe, and in the kick we have George. Piloting the Red Bull this evening we have the Scottish legend who eats lots of battered haggis. It's DK. Good evening, DK. Another good friend of mine, just in P6, is Gareth in the McLaren. He doesn't like wet races with low downforce. Master Spread in the Williams in P7. Linsky in the Red Bull. Big fan of Linsky's as well. He's always there and thereabouts. He's in P8. P9 in the Alpine tonight is Hosty. Hiya, Hosty. Good to see you in tonight. Another good guy, Speed Freak in the kick. Wishing him the very best tonight. Driving the Aston Martin behind him, Jeff Aboom. I must say, I'm starting to get all these names into my head. It's as if I know you guys. And 12 is PRF1 Clem, who is the boss and the owner of the league. Mike Legend in the Ferrari. Right behind him is Misfits in the Mercedes. Driving the Racing Bull this evening is Fuse Demon. He must have got bolts long enough for his new steering wheel, and he is now racing tonight, because I think he was threatening that he wasn't going to race. Or was it the other Fuse or the other Demon? I'm not too sure. Slippery Salmon got back into the lobby, and he is driving the McLaren though I've got a feeling that may be ghosting. I'm not too sure. Maybe with the rain, the graphics are a bit keek. In 17th, we've got PRF1 Viper in the Mercedes. 18th, Haas Andrew Pip Smith, who gave me a hell of a good race the other night. In fact, he took me out. He was brilliant. I really enjoyed a wee battle with Andrew the other night. And in P19, not forgetting this dystopian, I don't know how he ended up in P19, but he's doing a bit of drifting there in the rear. So here we have the beginning of Silverstone. First race, 35% after the one-shot quali. Just waiting on the lights. Axel's in P1, Godwin's P2, and AMS Trappy P3, with George and DK and Gareth Minimad, Master Spread, Linsky, Hosky, and Speed Freak all right down there in P10, who are all well capable of making a move as they go off here. And they're off. Let's do it. And they're away. Who gets the best start? Misfits gets a penalty there. I think he must have got off the line a wee bit early. I'm just keeping an eye around this corner. A lot of people go wide to try and avoid each other. That's normal. Even in a dry race that happens. But thankfully right now at this moment in time, oh, I've spoken too soon. It looks like Andrew Pip Smith at the back there in the Haas has had a bit of trouble. Let's just see if Andrew's got any damage. No, he's back up and running. That's good. But my goodness, what a start we've got there from Godwin. Godwin is way out already in nearly a 1 second lead, and he's pulling it. Trappy not too far behind him, but he's just going to have to speed up a wee bit and keep on the back of that car if he wants to get the slipstream. Just remember, there's no DRS in the rain. George is behind that in P3 with Axel in 4th. So Axel had a bad start there and he got himself dropped down into P4. Let's have a look at the tyre situation this evening. And everybody's on wets apart from the gamblers. And the gamblers this evening are DK, Master Spread, Gareth Minimad, Misfits, Clem and Hosty. Throwing into the also is Dystopian on the intermediates. So they're having a wee gamble. I dare say their race directors did advise the wets, but they've said, no, I'm going to go with what I think is right. But that looks like heavy rain, and it's going to be very, very interesting to see how they hold it down on those intermediates. Let's jump on board with DK just right now to see how those intermediates are actually performing in this heavy rain. You can see clearly there that he's very, very, very slippery, and he's trying very difficultly. It looks like it's very difficult to get traction here on the intermediates, but as the dry line appears, those intermediates should come into their own, and the guys on the wets will know that. Looks like Andrew Pip Smith is out of the race, and there is now a yellow caution. Is that caution a safety car? Let's get that map up to the full map. It's far better. I don't see any safety car just yet. Looks like they're back to racing speed. Trappy's right on the back of Godwin. Let's go back a wee bit down the grid, and we're going to jump on board with Axel. And Axel is having a real good bash here at DK in the Red Bull. Making a move tonight in the wet conditions is going to be something quite special, because with no DRS, it's right down to the skill of the driver and keeping the power down on the corners and keeping the traction. As you can see clearly there, that Haas of Axel is really, really front happy. And he's going to have to do a dive bomb up the side here to make this work. And this is dodgy stuff, but he made it work. Unfortunately, he didn't get the move to work. DK outsmarted him on that particular move, and he just blocked him out. And right now, Axel still has a fight in his hands. Let's just jump down to Viper. Viper's in P13 at the moment, and he's really, really close behind the peloton here of Mike Legend, Clem and Hosty. but he's going to have a go. He just touched the back of the Ferrari there of Mike Legend, and that just lost him a wee bit of pace, but it was just a little love tap. It was nothing sinister. Lots of people seem to be tempted to make the dive bombs, but they don't actually go for it. Even the wet tyres are struggling round it. Hugh Stephen in 14th. He's having a go on the inside here of Viper. He's just finding it very, very difficult for things to stick, but he's having another go on the inside. He's running the risk of losing traction. He keeps it on board there, just about, but he took a real gamble taking that curb. And Fuse Demon is still in, and he's still fighting. But by goodness, taking the curbs on this, as you can see, once again, he took the curb there, and it definitely threw the front of that car out of control for a very slight millisecond, which just costs time. Very, very, very difficult conditions this evening here at Silverstone. This is PRF1, I'm Gavin Bass 1, round 8 of the Lauda division, and it's pishing down, to say the least. Godwin puts in a 1:44.311, which is the fastest lap of the evening so far. Just wondering if there will be a tyre change, or do these tyres last the full 18 laps? The wet tyres, as long as it remains wet, would normally last quite a long time. Who else is having a battle? Viper's having another battle here. These four are having a real good battle here. In fact, there's 5 of them together. But nobody's making a real move at the moment. Let's just see what the position changes are. There you go. Not really anything big happening. The big news tonight is Axel has dropped from P1 down to P5, so he had a bad start. Don't know, I didn't catch exactly what went on because I was trying to keep an eye on the field, to be honest with you. But it looks like Viper has gained 4 places. Axel, as I say, has lost 4. And Dystopian is up 4. Jeffaboom and Misfits are down 6 and 4. And that's about it. Everybody else, apart from Gareth Minimad dropping 2, is more or less static to where they were. So it's fun, and it looks like Godwin has now got himself into an over 1 second lead over Trappy. And Godwin is good in the rain. There's no doubt about that. He seems to have pace in the rain, and I reckon if he keeps this on track, I think he can pull this out to even more than 1.5 seconds. Godwin gets a 1:44.10 and another fastest lap for him. So he's in the clean air. He's got Trappy furiously trying to chase him down. But unfortunately for Trappy just does not have the same pace in the wet right now. Both on the wet tyres, so there's no difference in tyres here. Both cars are equally equipped in terms of the rubber. Setups are maybe slightly different, who knows, but they probably put a setup in to try and get a fast quali lap in the dry. So they're both battling away with a pretty low setup here. So they'll be very gentle on those throttles going around the corners, and they'll be trying to put the power down very, very gently to ensure the maximum speed out of the corners this evening. Down to Gareth. Gareth Minimads in 8th, and he's trying to make a move in this Williams of Master Spread. Master Spread is the master of defence, and Gareth is going to find it very, very hard to make a move here. He's up against a real old veteran here. Master Spread knows what he's doing. %87% of the battery. Will he try and make a move here? Master Spread will know that, and Master Spread will use battery as well to try and defend. Slippery Salmon gets a 3-second penalty for multiple warnings. There's your first one of the evening. I thought there would be more up to now. But just look, Gareth is chomping at the bit here, and Master Spread is doing what Master Spread does best, and that is dominating the corners and making it virtually impossible for Gareth to make a move on the corners. So Gareth needs to overtake on the straights here, and he's just got a fair bit of decent pace out of that corner, but yet he still can't make the move. It's so difficult here. Linsky's in the pits. What's Linsky doing? He's changing on to the wet tyres, is he? No, Linsky has changed on to the intermediate tyres, and he's going to run those on now until the end of the race. Let's just jump down to him and let's see how those intermediates are going to perform, because he's going to try and chase down Jeffaboom now in that Aston, or Slippery Salmon, is it? Sorry, no, it is Slippery Salmon in the McLaren. And there you have it. Linsky takes Slippery Salmon. Oh, it's nice to see the McLaren in the new livery. Didn't realise that was out even. Lovely, must say, lovely. On the Viper, he's in P12 and he's trying to make a move here as well. Just have a look at that. The cockpit view is not a very good view in the rain. All you can really see is a lot of rain normally. Not a great watch really, so I'll try to do more of this while I'm commentating in the rain. It gives you a better overall view of what the moves are going to be like, if there are any moves. But let's just go down each and every one driver in their positions now. In first place this evening, after lap 7 of 18, we've got Godwin on the wet tyres. Trappy is 2.2 seconds behind him, and those two guys have got quite a serious lead over Josh and DK, who are having a right old battle round this left-hander here, and Josh makes that work, and that's DK in the 4th, and Josh is still in that lovely 3rd position. DK's going very well, and I would say DK's going to have a little fight here. Let's just jump on board and see what he can do. Just for 1 minute until we see if he can make a move, and then we'll just keep going down the drivers this evening. Oh, this is brave. This is brave. And he makes it stick. That's a beautiful move by DK. I must say, that is a difficult move. Never mind in the wet. That was a move well taken and well deserved for DK. Putting himself up into 3rd place. That's a super move. Well done, sir. Master Spread's in 5th position. And he doesn't have too many people chasing him down, apart from, oh, he does. He's got Gareth, Minimad and Hosty having a battle. Let's have a look at these two guys. Hosty's having a go at Gareth. Dystopian gets a 10-second penalty. He'll not be happy with that. He's one of the top guys in the league at the moment, and he doesn't need a 10-second penalty, that's for sure. Mike Legend gets a 3-second penalty, so the mistakes are starting to happen. The pit stops are starting to happen, and we're on with Speed Freak here, and he is in the pits as well. So they're all going to pop those wet tyres onto intermediates now, and Mike Legend is out there in 12th position at the moment, and everybody is changing onto the intermediates as soon as possible. Let's just have a look and see what the stop situation is like. There you go. 5, 6, 7, 8 people have now stopped once, and the race leaders, and Dystopian gets another 3-second penalty after that 10-second. He is going to be cross with himself after that. But a nice dry line starting to appear on the track now, and you can see that Godwin is still dominating the race at the moment. Trappy's trying hard, but he's not getting there. He's now dropped down to 3 seconds behind. Godwin is definitely on a very fast setup this evening, and he's driving beautifully around those corners. He's drifting, but he's not losing speed doing it, and that's a technique that's very, very difficult to get right. But Godwin has mastered the art of that, and it's really paying off for him this evening in the rain. Gareth Mini-Mad, he's really pushing hard now. He wants this place off Master Spread, but he's up against the old boss now, and I'll tell you what, Master Spread isn't going to be easy to pass. Speed Freak, 3-sec penalty for you, sir. Not a good one. A nice wee three-way battle going on here between Hosty, Master Spread and Gareth. Gareth's trying to have a wee look up the inside line here, but loses a little traction trying to do so. So it just shows you that it's millimetre sensitive here at the moment. You make 1 millimetre too much outside and you'd lose that traction. That was a perfect example of taking the corner just ever so slightly too fast. And Gareth is pushing and pushing. He's obviously got the pace, but Master Spread has got the experience, and he's defending like a true champion. And outside goes the he's taking the inside line. Gareth goes wide there, and that was an easy pass for Hosty, and Hosty gets into P5 and Gareth drops down into P6. Nothing sinister went on there. That was perfectly good move. Gareth just took the corner too wide. There was no touching or nothing there at all. That was perfectly fine in my eyes. Just going to bounce down to Viper again. Viper is definitely having a good wee battle with Speed Freak here. And we'll just jump on board with him and see if he can make a move for us. Give us a bit of excitement in the rain, Viper. Lap 10 of 18. George gets a 3-second penalty for multiple track warnings. So those penalties are really ranking up now. There they are, 13 seconds for Dystopian. I think he must have had a speeding in the pit lane. But just look at this. This is a real furious battle here for P13. Just shows you don't need to be in the front of a race to have a good night's racing. These two guys are having a really good battle, and I dare say in the Discord chat afterwards they will discuss it, because nights like that, 1 against 1, is really good fun as the Viper in the Mercedes goes well wide there. No real battles going on apart from Dystopian and P8, and he's having a real good look at his boss, Clem. Let's see if Dystopian can pull off a master stroke here on Clem. Clem's another one that's very, very hard to pass. He's a veteran, and he definitely knows how to defend a corner. He just seems to be able to put the car in the right place at the right time, and he is very, very difficult. He gets a 3-second track limit penalty there. That didn't look to be off limits to me. Maybe it's he makes a wee mistake there, and Dystopian jumps all over the top of him. And Clem is right behind him now, and he's going to have another go back. Clem won't give up, that's for sure. DK gets the fastest lap of the race at a 1:43.39, and he went on to those intermediate tyres, and they're now starting to really grip well on this racing line in the wet. So I think Dystopian's just going to pull away here. Gareth gets a 3-second penalty for multiple track warnings. So yes, the penalties are really, really, really ranking up here. And we're going to bunch down to Fuse, because he's having a real go at Misfits now. This is Racing Bull versus Mercedes. It's so difficult. It's so difficult to make a move in the wet. Lap 11 of 18, race 1, Silverstone. And we're having Silverstone weather. Wouldn't it be nice to have a dry second race? I think the game should offer up a nice second race in the dry this evening, and a nice quali dry as well. It'd be nice. But I'm just watching this What an inside move. And that's a beautiful move by Fuse. He's going to have to defend that Mercedes now, because that Mercedes is going to really give him trouble. Misfits is no slouch, and Misfits is going to want that position back. I'm just going to bounce on now with Trappy. Give Trappy some love, because Trappy is making a real serious effort here to try and get Godwin out of this P5 position. Let's have a look at the stop situation. Yep, the DK, Master Spread and Hosty and Gareth Minimad all still out on the original tyres. They're going to have to... are they going to do a one-stopper? Looks like they're going to try a one-stopper. Interesting. Hosty in third position at the moment in the Alpine, and he is really trying to give Master Spread a real good go here now. 3-second penalty for Viper, and Viper won't like that. Axel's out of the race this evening, so is Andrew Pip Smith. I don't know what happened to Axel. I didn't actually catch it. It's hard to catch everything going on. But something must have really happened there out front. It's really down to the strategies. Sorry, I'm not exactly 100% with it tonight. I've had a long day. But it looks like there's certain guys here that are staying on their starting tyres. And those tyres have got to be screaming, and they've got to be very close on puncture area, as Trappy is trying to make another, or Hosty is trying to make another move on Master Spread, who's now sitting in second place behind DK. Yep, that's the difference here. Godwin and Trappy have changed tyres, and they've only got 5 laps to make this catch up. Let's just jump on board with these two guys. Godwin's 2 seconds ahead of Trappy by the looks of it at the moment, but they are catching. Let's just have a look at that delta of Godwin's. 1.85, 1.81, 1.75, 1.715. Godwin is really catching quick here, and I think this is inevitable. Changing the tyres was probably the right move. 5 laps to make these moves, and you can visually see the advantage he's got going round the corner here as he now speeds up behind the McLaren of Gareth Minimad. Trappy's not too far behind him now, so we're going to have a Trappy Godwin finish here, I would say. It's just how canny can DK and Master Spread be, and Hosty and Gareth on these corners. They have every single right to defend their corners. Every single right to do it, but do it cleanly. And just look at this. Two-lap-old intermediates versus 12-lap-old intermediates. If I was a betting man, I would say it's going to be Godwin 1, Trappy 2. And I would say possibly, I don't know who's going to come in third. Possibly George, depends how much time he can gain here. It really just depends how much those intermediate tyres on 13 laps have deteriorated. But you can see the pace now of Godwin right behind Hosty. But Hosty's not going to make it easy for him, that's for sure. Have a wee look at this. It's a real battle of the defences now. It is a sprint race, and as I said earlier, they have every right to protect their line. They're allowed to make one move on their going in defending, but after that they cannot make 2 moves or they will receive a penalty. And It's just knowing where to put that car in the right position. But here's a perfect opportunity for Godwin to display the pace of the newer tyre. And he's going to take an outside line here. But Trappe has the car planted in the centre of the track, and that makes it virtually impossible. But Godwin does the switchback, and he's going to try and go up the inside. That now brings him to the outside of this, and that is going to be difficult. So he's not going to get it. But in the inside he goes again. That's a double switchback, and Godwin makes an unbelievable move there to take that position off Trappe. If he worked that out and calculated that, that is one of the nicest overtakes I've seen in quite some time. Or maybe it just worked out like that. Godwin, let's have you. Tell us what you did there, buddy. But that looked unbelievable. So he's on a real move now, as is Trappe. And they are now in the fighting positions. And they're going to be chasing down DK, who is a lot of distance ahead here. And whether they can catch 7 seconds in 3 laps, I just don't know if that's going to be possible. 14-lap-old intermediates in the wet on a dry line. Is DK running out of grip? Is DK in puncture area? These are the questions that we've got to ask. But right now, he is holding that 7.6 lead over Master Spread. But Godwin and Trappe are nipping on his tail right now, and we'll just stay on board with that. Just having another wee quick look at Linsky. Linsky's in that Red Bull, and he is trying so hard to get past Clem. And I'm sure they'll all be chatting about it in the Discord later, how difficult moves have been tonight. And the fastest lap this evening is Godwin at a 1:37.534. And there are your position changes as well. You can see Dystopian is up 12 places, and that's an amazing result in the rain, to be honest. That is an amazing. DK's doing a fantastic job. Master Spread is 5 places up, but Godwin has just taken the lead off, or the second position off that Master Spread, and we'll just have to pop on. I'm sorry, but we've got to pop on to the leaders here because we're now in a position where there is some furious racing going on for P2 here. And it's a 4-man race. DK, you're not going to get too much time here, buddy, because you're 10 seconds ahead. And these guys fighting are just letting you go ahead. Even on your deteriorating tyres, you are running a very, very superior race here, buddy. And just keep it on board and you will have a race win here. But this battle for 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th is furious between Godwin, Trappe, Master Spread and Hosty. And we're going to stay on board that battle until the race end, unless I can see some incidents or some very close racing. The only close race behind them really at the moment is Linsky, and he is just torturing the life out of Clem, but he's finding it very difficult to make that move. So I'm staying on with this potential P2 position that Godwin is trying to defend. And defending it very well, may I say. Lap 17, race 1, PRF1 Lauda division on a Tuesday night, round 8. This is the first of 2 races this evening, 35% races, 1-shot qualies, and this one is pitching down in Silverstone this evening. I'm not sure there's going to be any more moves in the positions tonight. I have honestly got a feeling this is the positions you're going to see the race wins. I think my prediction is going to be obviously DK to win, and Godwin, Trappe, Hosty and Master Spread in those positions this evening. I really, really can't see anyone pulling out of these gaps that have now been formed to make any move. I wonder, have the drivers just settled down and said, I'm just happy to take the points and finish this race without penalty, and also getting a few points for the bag. I honestly think that's what's happening. Because to stick the boot down now and make some unwise moves probably just cost you the race. Best thing they can do now is just keep it on track, take their points and go on to the next race. But what a fantastic, fantastic race by DK this evening. I'm sure he's on a sweat with these tyres. 16 lap old intermediate tyres, and DK has decided to do a zero stop race, and he has decided to do the full 18 laps. I wonder, are the guys going to try a full 18 on the hards in the second race if it's dry? But you can see Godwin is pulling time back. DK's tyres are scrap, but he is managing to keep the car in a straight line. And oh my goodness, this last lap, had there been another couple of laps, I honestly, and I do believe DK would admit himself that he's racing here on ice, and he's literally sliding his way and just doing his very best to keep this car on track to get over the start and finish line, because I reckon there are 0.000% left in those tyres. They've got to be so close to puncture. Might just be nice of DK to drop us a line in the break just to let us know what condition were those intermediate tyres in after lap 18. So we're going to follow him in, and it's DK in P1 this evening as he goes round the penultimate few corners here at Silverstone. Just keeping it on track, and Godwin pulled that right into a 3 second. So Godwin was pulling in very, very quickly. I was right. It looks like everybody's just holding their positions onto the line, and we'll welcome DK in the Red Bull in P1. And let's have a wiggle from you, sir. And a wiggle we get. And P2 is Godwin. P3 is Troppy as he broadsides it round that corner. Hosty in P4. Master Spread in P5. Dystopian will come round the corner here in P6. Jorsh in P7. Gareth Minimad is in P7, Dystopian is in P8. Still being tortured by Linsky in P9. Clem comes around the corner in the Williams in P10. Viper in P11. Fuse is in P12. And we'll just see Fuse round this corner. Here he comes. Fuse is over the line. Glad to get home, I would say. Misfits and Speed Freak in 13th and 14th. Mike Legend in 15th. 16th is Jeff Aboom, and last but not least is Slippery Salmon. Axel and Andrew Smith both DNF'd in the first race this evening here in Silverstone. Get a load of that Red Bull. Thumbs up from the DK. Well done. Looks down at the wee Haggis Eater cruise. Spreads the champagne. Love it, love it, love it. And the game gives race winner to DK, obviously. Godwin gets the fastest lap. Driver of the day gets Dystopian. Most overtakes is Dystopian. And Master Spread gets his cleanest driver this evening. So not a bad race one there. Lots going on. Few little mini battles. Bit of separation after a few laps. But a lovely wee battle at the end there for 2, 3, 4 and 5 positions as DK just held that lead. And DK, if you happen to be listening, please let me know where those tyres were at the end of that race. They've got to be very, very close to busted. Let's fucking go. Yes, DK. What were your tires like? Let's tell us what your tires were like. That was fun. Pretty good strategy, buddy. Everybody else, well, a lot of the guys went for a stopper. You stayed out there. Hopefully, another good position. Buzzing for reverse too. Good on you, bud. Let me know what the tire position was there. And while you guys are getting ready for your second quali of the evening, everybody stay in the lobby. I believe the lobby is now going to just switch over to another race. No need to bail out or anything like that. And in the meantime, I am just going to put up the league tables just to fill a bit of time. They weren't close to puncture, probably about 60, 70%. Wow. Wow. That's surprising, especially with the dry line. That is surprising, but good information. I shouldn't even be advertising that. That's only giving information out that you secretly got for yourself. So back online we are. Let me just check my microphone again. Yes, everything's working. Gavin Bass 1 is back on the microphone. We're in the pits. It looks dry. And they're going for, I think, are they going for a quali? Are they going for reverse grid? Or what are they doing here? Anybody watching my stream could tell me what's going on. Is it a one shot? Is it reverse grid? I'm not absolutely sure. I don't see anybody going out at the moment. So I've got the feeling this could possibly be a reverse grid. Race 2, Silverstone. Looks like a dry track. PRF1. Round 8. And we're counting down to what looks like a possible one-shot quali. If so, I'm going to give the first race leader the coverage for his quali lap if it is a quali. Let's just see what DK can do if it is what I think it is. And it is. Let's ride on board with DK. Let's get him. Where are you, DK? Why am I not finding DK? We're on with him now. We're on with the race winner of race 1, so he will be bubbling with confidence as he chucks it round this left-hander. Can DK put it in pole position for race 2? No, he can't. The best he can manage is P7. So P7 for our race 1 winner. Excuse me. And there you have the positions for the start of the race 2. Axel in P1. In the Haas, Godwin in P2. Trappy 3. Dystopian 4. George 5th. Clem 6th. Great lap to Clem. DK 7th. Misfits 8th. Jeffaboom 9. Hosty. Mike Legend. PRF1 Viper. Linsky's in 13th. Speed Freak didn't get a lap in. Fuse Demon didn't get a lap. And Master Spread disqualified. And Andrew Smith disqualified. As you can see, these things happen on a one-shot quali. One mistake and you're put to the back of the grid. And that's what's happened to Andrew and Master Spread on this occasion. So they're going to have to go for another formation lap. And this one is going to be a banger because it looks like a dry track and another 18 laps. But on this occasion, we are going the other way round. So we're going anti-clockwise round Silverstone this evening in race 2.
Sits a boatyard that has been in the hands of the Smith family for 70 years. Here, hefty boats are moved about, trusty system of rails, similar to that of a real one.
So DK did reply to my question, and my question was, were those intermediate tyres nearly wrecked? The truth of the matter was, no, they were 60 to 70% still intact, or 60, 70%-ish. So I think, is that 60%, 70% used? Or had they 60 or 70% left? It must be 60 or 70% used, so there was only about 30% left in those intermediate tyres in race one. Yep. Your strategy worked, DK, and you've now got a wee bit of a job in your hands now from your P7, so you are renowned for making a very, very sort of rapid start. I've just got a message, just hold on a second to reply.
That's the fourth brother, that's the main man there. That's the main man. That's the winch wire connected. And the winch is at the top of the shed. Father, he bought this winch here off a crappy craft that had been broken up in the docks. Oh, it's beautiful.
Next, good points on both races. Yep, good points to be had here tonight. I must admit, I love Silverstone in the dry. It is a really, really super track. A lot of people don't like it. I love it. Some people say it's outdated. I don't think that's right. I just think it's a good track. I think it's been designed, but in reverse, it's a whole different ballgame. So just waiting on the guys to complete their 3 to 5 minute break before they start the formation lap here in race 2. They will have their setups absolutely as low as they can. They'll have their tyre pressures set to where they need to be. A lot of people run their rear tyres a little lower than their front. Well, sorry, not lower, but not full inflated. From what I gather, you'd get your front tyres fully inflated and let your back tyres down ever so slightly. They'll also be trying to judge how much fuel they need for 18 laps so that they're not running heavy. And they'll also be wondering, can they perform this race on hard tyres? I'm going to have a wee look as they do the formation lap. And I'm going to have a look at the tyre situation as we run out here. So no, it doesn't look like they're going to do a zero stopper. A lot of people, Misfits has tried the hard tyres, so is Misfits going to try and do 18 laps on the hards? Everybody else is a mixture between softs and mediums, so they're going to try and get a real fast start to this race, those guys on the softs, and then they're going to bounce on to the mediums. Interesting, and an awful lot of different tactics going on as we run down the grid. Axel in the Mercedes in P1, Godwin in the Ferrari, P2. On board the Aston is Trappy in P3. 4 is Dystopian in the Racing Bull. Josh is in the Kicksaba in 5th. 6th position is the boss, Clem, in the Williams. DK, the winner of race 1 in the wet, is in the Red Bull. Misfits is in the Mercedes in P8. And Jeff Aboom is driving the Aston Martin this evening in P9. Posty is in P10 in the Alpine. And Mike Legend is in the Naughty Step. Viper is P12 in the Mercedes. 13 is Linsky in the Red Bull. And Speed Freak is on the Naughty Step. And Master Spread is on the Naughty Step. Fuse Demon is P15 in the Racing Bull, and right down at the bottom tonight is Andrew. And it just shows you the quality of the drivers here this evening when Andrew is in P17, because I'm not a bad driver. I'm not the best. I'm not bad, But Andrew certainly gave me a real run for my money the other night as we wait on the lights to ready up for this race 2 reverse in Silverstone in the dry conditions. One red, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it's go at Silverstone, and it looks like Axel has got a decent start there. And he holds the corner okay, and somebody goes wide there in the kick. I think it was George had to go wide. And right now, at the moment, somebody went madly wide there in the one of the cars at the tail end there. Was it Linsky in the Red Bull, and Fuse Demon in the Racing Bull went very, very wide there. Don't think there was an accident, not absolutely sure. But we have now got a massive DRS train about to happen, and there's a move being made now. Wow. Fuse Demon is on fire there. He is trying very, very hard, and he's in P14, and he now puts Speed Freak behind him. And this is going to be a little separate battle here, as there seems to be a bit of separation going on in front of him. So they need to just catch back up under that queue. But Axel has got himself a very, very, very good start and gets himself out of the DRS zone in race 2 here in the first lap. And Axel will be loving that. But Trappe isn't going to let him away with it because he's reeling him in. And he's now getting himself back into the position where he can make the DRS work. As is everybody else behind him. DK, Dystopian, Josh, Clem, Misfits, Hosty, all right in there. And it's a fantastic start. Speeding in the pit lane with Andrew. Andrew just might retire. He might be frustrated. I don't know. Does he retire? Let's have a look. No, he's going to go on. That's good sportsmanship, and you never know, it just might be a safety car. But here we have the race leader, and that's Axel, and he's only 0.8 of a second ahead of Trappe. So we've got a real race going. Godwin and DK. DK's now up into P4, so there's been a few positions gained already. DK's up 3. Master Spread's up 4, and Trappe is up 1. Everybody else is very similar to where they started. Mike Legend's a big loser there at 5 down because he was involved in that incident at the back. Let's have a look at Viper. Hosty's made a move up the inside there, and he's made it. Oh, he hasn't made it stick. He just got absolutely cut off there by Misfits. Misfits just did not let him through whatsoever. That was very close to a banging, but it was okay. Trappe's having another go on Hosty's having another go on the outside. Is he going to make it work this time? They're side by side coming down here. They're going round that right-hander side by side. Trappe has to back off, or Hosty, sorry, has to back off ever so slightly and just lets Viper go on this occasion. But he'll be trying. Oh, Jeff Aboom's cutting the grass. He held it. He held it. He's lucky he didn't spin there, but he went well wide, and he's now dropping back in positions. Little separate battle going on here with Linsky, and he's going to make a move in the Aston. And Jeff Aboom is holding on for his life here. Let's see how they... Oh, he loses it round the corner. I think he actually clipped the Aston slightly there. Did he lose an end plate? I think he got away with that, but he definitely lost a lot of time there, and he needs to settle down and regain himself. Back with the race leader. That's Axel. But you know what? He's got a real bunch of good drivers coming up behind him. He's got Trappe, he's got Godwin, he's got Dystopian, and they have just pulled their distance away from Josh and DK. And DK needs to get past Josh if he wants to try and battle this out. He's been using a lot of battery to even stay in the position he's in at the moment, so he's not in a very good position of power here with battery. He's down to 5%, so DK is really going to have to just... Oh, he goes off track a wee bit there. Keeps it okay. But on with Trappe. Trappe's going to give this Axel guy a real run for his money here. The three of them. Godwin's right up there too. Dystopian's got a 3-second gap to try and get into the zone of these three guys, and that's going to be very, very difficult to do as they're all going to be sucking each other's DRS. I'm sure you thought I was going to say something else there. Not on my stream, you won't. Just look at the pace of Godwin. Godwin's playing the patient game behind Trappe. Now these two don't want to be fighting too hard, because if they do, Axel will know that, and Axel will just gain time. So they're just going to have to play patient laps here for a wee while. So let's go down them one by one. I like to do this, and then sometimes you can pick up a bit of action. Axel's in 1, Trappe's in 2, Godwin's in 3. Those three are in a little battle of their own. Then you're down to Dystopian, and Dystopian behind him, he's got Josh chomping on his tail, and Josh is really, really going for it here. Josh is driving very, very well tonight, I must say. He's a real good driver, and he is putting Dystopian under immense pressure here. And I'm just going to stay on board with this, because I got a feeling he's going to be able to make a move here very shortly. He's just going to wait for this DRS zone. He's nice and close to the tail of Dystopian. But he wants to get a bit closer than that. Oh, nice bit of gear changing there. Gets that perfectly round the corner. That's lovely. Absolutely lovely. He's got a lot of pace here. So that was Josh, and we're on with Clem, and Clem has got Viper on his tail. On Viper's tail, we've got Misfits. On Misfits' tail, we've got Hosty. And right behind that is Master Spread, Fuse Demon. And these guys are going to battle it out too, as they all seem to be in each other's DRS zone. DK's in P12, so DK has had either a pit stop or a little bit of trouble. Let's have a look. No, he hasn't had a pit stop, so he's obviously had an incident, and he has got himself right down into P12. So he has got his work cut out for him to get into a top 10 position tonight, as these guys in front of him are not slow guys whatsoever, and they know how to race. Almost Speed Freak, and Speed Freak's having a go. Oh, he just gives that Red Bull a little tap there. Just saying to the Red Bull, remember, I'm here. Oh, the Red Bull goes wide. Can Speed Freak make the best of that situation? No, he can't. I've actually just noticed that Gareth's not in race 2. He mustn't have fancied it, or else he had bad internet connection. I know he's been struggling with internet, as I have. Speed Freak gets himself a 3-second penalty there, and Mike Legend is in the pits. On board with the leaders. Trappy and Axel battling out there. Godwin's not too far behind. Dystopian's losing time. He's not gaining any. He's 4.5 seconds behind Godwin. But right behind him, we've got Josh. And Josh is definitely pushing hard in this kick sub of the night. On with Hosty. Hosty's trying to make a move there. These 4 guys are having their own little private battle here, and I love to see this. And that looks like a Williams going into the pits, is it? Yeah, it looks like Clem. Clem's going in for an early stop. So he's going to bump on those hard tyres, isn't he? Let's have a look. So he's retiring the soft tyres, and he's going to bounce onto the hards, I would say. Oh no, he's going for mediums. So he's going to go for 10 laps on mediums. Godwin and Clem, Godwin's in the pits as well now, and he is put on a set of mediums as well. So they've taken the early stop, and they're thinking to themselves, well, if I get out of the battles, I'm going to be able to put in some fast laps in the clean air. And that just might be a good strategy as long as they've got pace, because these guys in front have got DRS and they will be towing each other along the very best as we just bounce down again. So on track at the moment, we've got a few people, 3 people that have made an early stop. That's Godwin, Clem and Mike Legend. Everybody else is still out on track. So on track at the minute, you've got Axel. Trappy has decided to go in, and he is on mediums at the moment. So is he going to put softs on and go for the 9 laps on softs? I would say so. Let's just say no, he's going for medium, is he? Or is those hards? It looks like he's on the hard tyres. Let's just check that. Yep. He's going on, Trappy's going on for hard tyres now for 9 laps. So lots of very different strategies going on here this evening, and it's just going to be a battle of those strategies for sure. And out he comes, and he gets himself out into 10th position now after that stop on those hard tyres. Again, he's got clean air, but he's got Godwin on the medium tyres right behind him, and those are only 1 lap old. So Godwin strictly should have pace here on the Aston on the early laps of these hard tyres. Linsky gets a 3-second penalty. Nice wee battle going on with Master Spread and Hosty here. These 4 guys are in a really, really tight little race here between each other. And this is good racing tonight, I must say. Really good, clean racing so far. That's one thing about PRF1 League. In general, their racing seems to be very clean, very respectful, and it's good to be part of it. In goes an Alpine there into the pits that looked like Hosty. So Hosty's going to go in, and he's going to bounce on to a tyre change now. What's he going to bounce on to? Because he's a potential front runner. Godwin just puts in a 1:28.6. So Godwin's out there. He's got that clean air going on, and he's going to just put in those fast laps. So on goes the soft tyres for 8 laps. DK's been disqualified from the session. He's gone the wrong way. So DK's had an incident, and he has binned it, and he has now had a DNF. So that's DK's race over for this evening. But at least he has got the #1 badge on his shoulder this evening for that beautiful win in race 1 in that wet conditions tonight. Clem's got a 13-second penalty. 10 seconds of that probably needs to be carried out in the pit lane. And the stop situation, no, Clem's had a stop, so he'll probably carry that penalty to the end of the race. So that's really, really going to deter him. Dystopian gets a 10 second for speeding in the pit lane. He is going to be very, very, very cross with himself tonight. And it's catching people out with this reverse track. They just don't know how early or how late to brake going into those pits. And if you're pushing for time, the temptation's always there to try and do it as late as possible. And that's just exactly what Dystopian has done there. And it's caught him out. And he has paid the ultimate penalty for it. And that's put Dystopian out of this race now, probably. Have a look at Axel. Nice little battle going on here too. So quite a bit of separation in certain parts of the track. But these guys here, I'm on board with Axel and I'm on board with Dystopian. He's quite a bit behind. He's got an awful lot of clean air there, so he's going to put in a lot of fast laps now that he's had that stop. But Axel, Godwin and Troppy are having a fantastic battle. And Troppy is holding them off right now as best as possible in the Aston here. But George Misfits, Master Spread and Fuse Demon all still to make their stops. And I think they're going to make them very, very shortly. And that will allow Troppy, I would say, to take over the race lead. Fuse and Master Spread. Riding on board with Misfits. Right behind him we have Master Spread chasing down. Fuse Demon's 2 seconds behind that with Troppy and Godwin battling out behind that. So it looks like when these guys jump into the pits, we're going to have a Troppy Godwin Axel battle. What a battle that is. Three-second penalty for Josh. Wow, you didn't want that, buddy. You did not want that. But just check this out. Here we go. It's a Troppy, Axel, Godwin, and Dystopian is wanting to try and get into the mix here, but he's quite a job to do to get into that back of that Godwin Ferrari. Speed Freak gets a 3-second penalty. That's because he's pushing so hard, and it's very, very difficult when you're back in sort of 12th, 13th position because you're trying to make moves and you just try your best and sometimes end up being slightly careless and pays the price with that 3-second penalty. There's the inside move being made. It's a battle. It's a battle. Oh, wow. Unbelievable close racing going on here. And there's switchbacks being tried. There's all sorts of techniques being tried here. Let's see who can pull out a master stroke. Oh, the Aston Martin just touches the Haas there. And this is absolutely flat to the mat stuff. And I honestly believe if this continues like this, we could have an incident here because they are pushing and they're pushing for pride and they are trying so hard. Oh, up the inside goes Godwin. Godwin makes it stick, does he? No, Fuse gets it back. Godwin's back on the inside. Fuse is now going to get taken by the Aston Martin of Trappe, and they're all bouncing into the pits now. So once these guys come out, we're going to have the true reflection. Fuse Demon does exactly what Dystopian does, and he gets himself a 10-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. And that seems to be a common error tonight here in PRF1 with this reverse grid here at Silverstone. So as I thought, everybody's now pitted. We've now got a true reflection of what's going on the track, and it's Axel out there in P1 with a 1.7 lead over Godwin and Trappe, who are battling. And if these two guys have any sense, they're just going to tow each other along and try very, very hard to pull that in, and they will do as long as they keep it clean. Lap 14 of 18. This looks like Axel's race to lose, to be honest with you. Nice little battle going on with Misfits here. He's going to have a go, and he goes in. Oh, Hosty just goes around that, and he holds that position, but Misfits is not giving up. And he's going to try the inside move, and that's a lovely move. Can he make it stick? Side by side they are. He's got the corner, and he's going to take that corner, and that's exactly what he's done, and that's beautiful racing here by Misfits in P7 in that Mercedes car. So I'm just going to run down Axel in P1, Godwin in P2, but he's got Trappe right on his tail in P3. And I'm just going to dive onto the tyre situation. We've got Trappe on 6-lap-old hards versus 7-lap-old mediums with 3 laps to go. That's a good strategy that Trappe's on here, and I hope it works out for him. But Godwin is an incredible driver, and Godwin will not give this place up easily. But he's just going to have to watch out. Trappe has got pace here and looks like he's got what it takes to take this P2 position. I'm in no doubt whatsoever Axel has this race won. But while those two guys battle, they're not pulling in Axel whatsoever. Everyone else has fairly well separated now, apart from Hosty. Hosty's trying his best still to bang in master spread here. But again, that's going to take time, and we would be best staying on with the race for second place at the moment between Trappe and Godwin. There's your position changes. 8 positions up for Master Spread and Fuse Demon 5. So those are the biggest gainers tonight. Everybody else seems to be in their positions. The fastest lap is held by Godwin at the moment at a 128.6. And the penalties are 10 for Dystopian, Josh 3, 13 for Clem, 10 for Fuse, 3 for Linsky, and 6 for Speed Freak. So it's Axel's race, but the big race at this moment in time are these two guys that are side by side going round the left-hander, then the right-hander, and Godwin is on the outside, Trappe's in the inside, and they are neck and neck going down the straight. What's going to happen round this corner? Godwin's going to have the position, Trappe hooks in behind, and they're definitely racing hard here for this beautiful and proud second position in race 2. Trappe's going to make a move here. Riding on board with the Aston of Trappe. He's in position 1 at the moment in the league. Godwin's not far behind, and Dystopian's not far behind that as well. Axel's up there as well. So these 4 guys are right up on the top of this league. But Godwin's doing a really, really good job here holding Trappy off, and Trappy is trying hard. As you can see, he's got virtually 0 battery left. What has Godwin got in the battery? Battery 13, Trappy 17. So they're both absolutely exhausting each other in terms of their batteries. So it will be down to the DRS zones here, and we're going to have to look out closely for them to see if there'll be a move made under DRS. And this is one of them, I think. Lap 17 of 18 laps. Axel's pulled out nearly to 4 seconds now, so the race win is going to be Axel's unless he makes a boo-boo, and I can't see that happening. Just going to bounce down to Hosty again because he's trying to make this move on Fuse Demon. But again, he's struggling just to get on the tail of that Racing Bull this evening, and Fuse is having a decent race here. I've got to go back on. It's lap 18, and I'm going to go back on with Trappy. They're on their final lap, and we'll just watch them come round. This left-hander, Trappy's going to try and get right onto the gearbox of the Ferrari now. And this next DRS zone coming up is going to be absolutely crucial for Godwin. 14% the battery with Trappy and 25% of Godwin's. So there's a bit of energy left in Godwin's battery to try and hold them off. Oh, he brakes really hard going round there. He is trying so hard, is Godwin. And Trappy is also braking very late to try and get on for a final move here. But I'm not too sure they're going to be able to do it. So I'm just going to see the winners through. And Axel, P1, Trappy, 3rd, Godwin 2nd, Dystopian 4th. Pushed up into 5th because George of the penalties. Clem is holding off Misfits at the moment, and Clem will come over the line in 6th, but he'll be dropped down, and then Master Spread in 7th. Clem actually ended up going right down about 9th or 10th place, with Linsky in 9th, 10th. Jeffaboom got a 9th, and Hosty got an 8th after all the penalties have been awarded. Fuse Demon 12th. So there you have it, guys. That's the end of race 2 here with PRF1 tonight, and Silverstone, one in the right direction, the other one in reverse direction. One in the rain, one in the dry. Axel wins race 2. DK wins race 1, and they'll be both very, very happy with those wins tonight as he sticks the old cup in the air and the crew look up at him in awe. It's a really windy and overcast night here in Northern Ireland. I hope my stream came through loud and clear and there wasn't too many hiccups with it. I wouldn't be surprised if it was a bit stuttery. Ferrari, Axel wins. The V-carb of Godwin gets the fastest lap. Driver of the day is Master Spread. Most overtakes Master Spread, and the cleanest driver for this evening is Master Spread. So there you go. What a night. Full of everything. Bit of everything. Some great overtaking moves there this evening. and some good close racing, some very difficult racing tonight in the rain, in the wet conditions, and in all, quite well worth watching back. And I'm glad I made it back from hospital to be here for you all tonight. Hope you enjoyed the stream. As always, thanks to the guys that run the league, the stewards, the admins, and Clem for owning the league and giving us all a nice platform to enjoy a Tuesday night. This was the Lauda division. This was round 8. This was Silverstone. And I was Gavin Bass 1. And enjoy the rest of your week. Good night.
It was a very much a touch and go situation, and at one stage, the Father Jim and his troops were the only troops available to defend the ground that they'd captured. But he was obviously invaluable to them, to Merrill. Yes. To that whole effort. Yes. So I mean, we know the outcome of the war and all the rest of it. Was he ever recognized?